The Secrets of Disney is brought to you by the Star Quest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's there, Mama?
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
How do you do?
How do you do what? Show me the smile.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Very nice. You can sit by me.
Everything's so wonderful.
Come on, get up. Come on, get up.
Where are we going?
Up to Neverland.
You must kiss me.
Excuse me?
Please, princess.
One kiss.
Unless you beg for more.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Secrets of Disney. And we're here again, your two hostesses. My name is Deborah, and joining me today is Sherry.
Hello.
Hello, we are so excited to be here for our fourth episode. And there's so much for us to talk about that sometimes we're like, what are we going to talk about? There's almost too much to talk about. But today we're going to talk to you about money. And that's because we are planning a trip now to Walt Disney World in about 4 months. And yeah, I'm super excited. And, I am just one person, and I have a pretty normal job, I think, that doesn't quite pay for a lot of extras. So this is a little, how do I pay for Disney when you're on a very tight, very strict budget?
And Disney is expensive. Disney is let's just be honest. It's expensive.
Yeah, let's just be honest. This is an experience. This is not, you can probably go on cheaper vacations for half the price that we're going to pay. And I can tell you how, but, and this is actually probably one of the most expensive vacations I'm going on at Disney, because in the past, I've never had to pay to go to Disney like I'm paying now. So this is the first time I bought tickets. This is, normally I do cast member discounts for a lot of stuff. So it doesn't seem so bad if you know somebody or if you're a cast member. This is a little more expensive. And so we're going to tell you first, how much are we talking when we're talking expensive? How much are we talking? And then we'll talk about how we're saving for, and maybe if we have times, we'll even talk about other tips for going to Walt Disney World that would be budget friendly.
Yes, sounds good.
So I'm going to start with what I think is one of the hardest to bargain with, because it never changes very often, and it's going to be expensive no matter how you slice it, because you really can't get very good discounted tickets. So that's probably the number one question I get is, how do I get discounted tickets into Walt Disney World? Well, there's only a few options for that. And the options for discounted tickets are, they don't normally deeply discount tickets to any of the theme parks in Central Florida, let alone Walt Disney World. So you're talking maybe 10 to 15% at most discounted off the normal price. And like, for example, we're going in on what we'd call a value season. Now, I think I don't know what they call it now. They just changed the terminology. But since we're going in a season that is not normally as busy, like a peak season like Christmas, for a 7-day, one-person adult park hopper ticket, I'm paying around $500. So a week at Disney, $500 per adult, and an adult for Disney terms is 10 and up. And a child is 3 to 9. So, a child will be probably, I would say, $375 to $400 for 7 days.
So if you're thinking, at any point, should I take my little baby to Disney? The answer is probably yes. People are like, well, they're not going to remember. You know what? They're free. They're free. Take advantage of it, because the only time that you'll get in free to Disney is when you're under 2.
And I think, I went to Disney my first time when I was 7. And I don't remember a lot. I mean, I remember bits and pieces. Like I cried through the Haunted Mansion. Like I was so scared. I cried the whole time. And I cried through 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which, because I was so freaked out from Haunted Mansion, I was like, not another one of these. And I'm sure my parents were like, well, this was a waste of money.
But you love it now.
I
so
love it now.
know.
And now I'm kind of kicking myself that I refused to look at 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea when it was an attraction, because now it doesn't exist anymore at Walt Disney World. And I don't know if it exists. It's been reborn into Nemo's Under the Sea Adventure in California. So it's a little different. But now I'm like, oh, I wonder if I would have remembered that if I had actually looked at it.
Opened your eyes.
Yeah, as opposed to covering my eyes and crying. So,
and you know what, people? You know, we share these stories, and you think, oh man, you know, I shouldn't take my kids because if they're going to cry, it's going to be a waste of money. But you know what? We are quite a bit older now, and we're laughing about it. So regardless of whether they're laughing and smiling or crying, it's still wonderful stories to talk about later.
Right. And here's the other thing, too, is I remember we have pictures of those Polaroids, because that's, you know, the 80s. And so we have Polaroids of it. And they're great pictures of, you know, of us at Magic Kingdom. It was over Christmas time, and Epcot had just opened like 2 months prior to that. So you can place it in the early 80s. And I still treasure those pictures. So I took several of my friends' babies to Walt Disney World. And, you know, I'm sure they treasure those pictures of their children at Walt Disney World, too, the babies.
Yes. And they'll never be that cute again. And you can't make them, like, dress up ever again, you know? Well, I guess sometimes you can. A lot of times you can with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and stuff. That's quite popular.
Right.
But in any case, so one day at Disney World, 1 day, one park, just to give everybody an idea, right now is about $110. $110 for 1 day.
And that's not even a park hopper. That's just going into a park like Magic Kingdom and staying at that park.
Right.
If you want to add, and that's the other thing. So you can go 1 day, one park, or you can get a park hopper, which, as the name implies, you can go to all 4 theme parks in a day if you wanted to, and it's extra.
Yeah. So the park hopper option is an additional $60. So for 1 day, it's $169. And you got to tack on taxes and fees and stuff. But to give you an idea, to make all 4 parks in 1 day, you're paying about $170. So you got to kind of weigh if that's worth it. Now, the way Disney has changed their tickets is each day has a different price value. Like Deborah was saying, on holidays, it's more expensive. So you might be paying maybe like $130 for the day. Is that worth it to you? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I know, just to insert, on Christmas Day, the price is $159. So close to $160 for just 1 day, one park. So, you know, and plus it's going to be crowded as all get out. But, you know, whatever.
So when you think about it, it's like, okay, how many days are you going? You know, you average it out. Let's just say we don't hop parks to try to save a little money, because really you can spend a whole day at one park without blinking an eye. So let's just save a little money. If you're only going for 1 day, maybe it's worth it to buy the park hopper, because then you can hit up all your favorite rides and get a glimpse of all the parks. For this podcast, let's just budget for 1 day at $110. How do we go about saving up the money for that?
Oh, well, $110 if that's all we're saving them. So you're saying all I need to come up with is, well, plus $22 to park my vehicle, by the way.
Right.
If I'm driving.
Park your vehicle. But, okay, so we're planning a vacation. Let's say the vacation's 5 days. And we're only going to have 1 day tickets. So that's $550. just to get into the parks, right? For that time span, how do we save up the money?
How do we save up the money? Well, if you're like me, now we've had, 6 or 7 months now of planning. I know that every pay period, I can at least cough up about $20 to $30 spare. And if I hustle, I can cough up more than that. And if I don't eat out, I can cough up more than that. So, and I get paid twice a month. And I know that for myself, every month I could probably spare $150 per month. And then that's just if my budget, like it's the dead of winter and my electric bill is through the roof and and those expensive months. And so I started way back in a month or two ago. I bought my tickets. And it was roughly around that same price, I got to say, just a little less. But I have already saved up about $150 to $200. And you know what I'm doing so I don't spend it? This is my trick, is that Sam's Club and Target, well, most big grocery stores sell Disney gift cards, and you can also buy them online. But Sam's Club sells them at a discount. So I can get $150 worth of Disney gift certificates for $144. So I'm saving about $6. But still, that's a good deal. And then I don't have that $150 to spend on like manicures and pedicures and eating out. It's already spent and saved in essence for the my trip in September. So I put my gift cards aside.
Yeah,
Yes.
you put it in a drawer.
And you can buy gift cards. You can buy them $20 at a time at Target. And if you have a Target Red card, apparently you get 5% back. So you can get discounted tickets or gift certificates, I should say, with these with Target Red. And like I said, it's cheaper on Sam's Club to purchase them in that way. So you could do that.
And if you know ahead of time that you're going to Disney, whichever Disney park, I don't actually have a red card from Target, but one of my friends does. And on Black Friday, I guess there was some kind of sale on Target gift cards or something. So she was sitting there on her phone, basically trying to buy out gift cards and then convert them to Disney gift cards because they go to Disney a lot too. So you kind of learn these tips and tricks and gotta keep your eye out.
Yeah, that's a scam I hadn't heard of. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay.
And especially on Black Friday. So I know just from my own experience that Amazon sells certain gift cards for discounted rates, like $100 gift card for $80 for places like, I think, Applebee's or iTunes or things like that. Well, if other places sell, let's say, Target gift cards for $80, but you get $100 worth, well, you can then take it to Target and I believe convert it to Disney dollars or Disney gift card because Disney dollars don't technically exist anymore. But these are just the ways of kind of saving a little money. And if you're planning ahead and at Thanksgiving time, well, I'm going to go to Disney. Well, go check out Target and maybe even Sam's Clubs, and they'll have an extra discount on those gift cards that you can then just save and pocket in a drawer until you're ready to use them.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is so you have, maybe you're saving up for years because you want to do an epic trip. You can pay for your entire vacation with Disney gift cards. You can pay for the room. You can pay for any Disney vacation package with Disney gift cards. And that includes cruise line and tickets. And even like when we go, I'm already saving up my gift cards so that I can buy food. And I can also charge back to the room and then pay for my room tab with Disney gift cards. So that's the plan.
So, and you can also just set up a special savings account and say, hey, this is my Disney fund.
Right.
And every time your paycheck goes into your regular checking account, have it auto transfer, let's say $5, something that is reasonable that you won't necessarily miss on an everyday basis, and just have it auto transfer to this designated savings account. And basically you just don't touch it. The savings account is non-touchable. You don't have a PIN. You don't have access to it through a debit card. You just create it, have it auto save. And then when you want to go, you're ready to go on your vacation, you have to physically go down to the bank and pick up the money.
That's
so it's
awesome.
really kind of out of touch of yours, if that makes sense.
Well, and that's why I think that's a great idea too. And, that's been around forever. But the other idea too was with the gift cards, you can't really touch them for anything else either. It's like, it's just for Disney and that's it.
And why don't you share these other things that you're doing, Deborah? These very creative ways of collecting Disney dollars.
Okay. And some of you might already know this, but there are shopping apps that will give you either cash back or rewards for shopping certain places or buying certain things. And so I'm going to talk about the couple that I'm using right now. And the first one is Ibotta. If you have Ibotta.
How do you spell that?
Ibotta. Ibotta. And initially, one of my friends, who's actually a Disney cast member, told me, oh, you got to try Ibotta, because what Ibotta does, it's like a coupon system. And instead of the money going off the initial purchase, the money goes into an account, and the account is cashed out then for real life cash. But you have to there's certain things you can buy. There's certain things that you can't buy, so it's kind of, they're trying to sell a new product, or, like there's a new kind of orange juice. And if you buy that orange juice, you get 50 cents back, or you get $1 back. And
how do they know whether you bought it or not?
You scan your receipt, and then sometimes they'll make you scan the product barcode too with your phone. Okay. And I kid you not. So I tried this, and I was a little skeptical at first. The first month, and because they give you also bonuses for signing up and bonuses for this and that and the other, I made $50. I made actually $66 in the first month.
Nice.
In cash that I was able to Venmo or PayPal, and it's cold hard cash. Like, that's it. And this month, like, I just checked my Ibotta today, and I have close to 70 again, and this is month 2. And so,
wow.
Yeah, I'm a little more hardcore about this. I'm a little more like, I have so much ice cream because it's ice cream and cereal and stuff like that is always on Ibotta. So I have more stuff in my freezer than I probably.
We're going to walk it all off when we go to Disney.
And here's the thing about that is that, so I'm going to cash that out for cold hard cash, but there's also gift cards you can cash it out for, like, Sam's Club or Walmart or Target. So you can go that route too. So that's number one. That's my first one. The second one, the one that I started out like a couple months ago, and it's a little more trickling effect as opposed to the Ibotta, which was a little more instantaneous, was something called Fetch Rewards, FETICH. And that one is mostly just grocery stores, and you don't really have to think about it. You just, when you're done, you scan the receipt, and it gives you 25 points per receipt. But if you bought something specific that they're trying to get you to buy, like Velveeta is a good one. Sometimes that's a bonus. They'll give you bonus points for buying Velveeta, or buying like Good Humor ice cream, or buying a specific kind of beer or wine. And it'll give you like 1,000 points or 2,000 points.
Yep.
And so after you get like 50,000 points, you can get a $50 gift certificate to, like, Landry's is one we were Sherry and I have been talking about. And if
Yak
you're not
and
sure,
Yeti.
Okay, so Disney has a couple partner restaurants, and one of them is Starbucks, obviously. The other one is Landry's, has Rainforest Cafe, Yak and Yeti, and T-Rex Cafe in Disney Springs. And so you can use those gift cards there. So we're actually going to go to Yak and Yeti because I've heard it's one of the best places to go in Animal Kingdom, and I've eaten there. I've actually eaten there, and it was really quite good. And the decor is really, it's really quite good. And so that's one of the things that you could, trade your points in for. That and Starbucks. You can actually use your Starbucks app there at, there's a Starbucks in every park and Disney Springs. You can't redeem the star if you're doing the app. You can't redeem the stars, but you can earn stars. So I'm going to fill up my Starbucks card before we leave, and I'll get my coffee and on Main Street, maybe? Yeah, on Main Street Bakery down in Magic Kingdom. Maybe I'll get the cupcake of the day. Who knows? But that's all. You can buy that with your Starbucks card. And some of these apps that I've been talking about, you can trade it in for a Starbucks card. Another one that I actually found that you can actually redeem your points for a Disney card. And it's not taken me hardly any time at all to do this. I've only had this app on my phone for about 3 weeks now. And I'm about 1,000 points away, which is maybe 2 or 3 items before I get my $50 Disney card. And that's called Shopkick. So it's one word, SHOPKICK. And I've had to buy ribs with that, but I'm not complaining because I had some major awesome ribs last night.
And you didn't share with me?
No. It was awesome. But there's a couple things, specific things that you would have to buy for that one. But also, it'll give you points for just walking into Target or Walmart or H&M in the mall or, what's another one? TJ Maxx. And then if you scan certain items, you don't have to buy them. It gives you points, which is kind of you can rack up points without even having to buy stuff. You just walk around and scan. And, and one of my friends is like, oh, you're just doing price checking for the company. I'm like, I don't care. I'm getting a free Disney gift card out of this.
That's right. And if you're going in there anyway, why not?
Right. I go into Walmart a lot to buy groceries, and I go into Target a lot just to buy groceries. So, if I'm making, 100 to 200 to 500 points every time I walk in there, and I only need 15,000 points to get my gift card, I'm doing all right.
Right there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that we should mention is that some of these apps, so like the Shopkick, it knows that you went in the store because of Bluetooth. I personally do not leave my Bluetooth all the time or on all the time. So app like that, I've tried it, and for myself, it doesn't work because I perpetually forget to turn on my Bluetooth. If you're committed like Deborah and you have your Bluetooth on, it's an easy way to collect these points and to get these free gift cards. And it does work. But if you're someone like me who I turn everything off on my phone, I don't have my location or my Bluetooth or anything on, then you may or may not want to try these apps, because if you don't remember to turn it on, you just have an app on your phone that does nothing.
Yeah. Well, and let me talk about 3 more apps that I kind of use interchangeably. They're all the same to me. And I have actually all 3, and I'm like, I don't know if I need all 3 because they're kind of the same. In fact, I want to say they're owned by almost the same company. And that's Ebates, Ebates, MyPoints, and Swagbucks. And some people swear by Swagbucks, and I'm not so impressed with it yet. I haven't really racked up any points on that.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I tried it, and I didn't like it.
But MyPoints, okay, I'm up to $100 gift card right now within 3 weeks. And the only reason is, and this is another side gig that I do, and I am not advocating this. This is just something that I'm one of those. I don't have kids. I don't have, a partner, a spouse, or, anything like that. I'm just a solo female in the world. And so I have not a lot of free times, but I have free time. And I am a Shipt shopper. So I deliver groceries on one of those apps. But they had a 10,000 point bonus to be a DoorDasher. And I signed up for it. A DoorDasher is a DoorDash is an app to order fast food and have somebody deliver it to you. So if you want a Baconator from Wendy's, you pay a little extra and somebody will bring you a Baconator from Wendy's. And so I'm like, oh, let me try this. Since I'm already delivering groceries, it says to get my 10,000 points, I had to do like one DoorDash session within 7 days of me signing up. And I'm like, all right, it's only an hour of my time. And so I tried it and I made $30 in an hour. And
wow.
And I got 10,000 points on top of that, which, and I earned some other points too. And I'll talk about that here in a second.
You helped to deliver the food.
Right. I actually delivered a Baconator, which is why I know I'm like, you can get a Baconator delivered.
That's funny. That's funny.
So it is funny. And you know what? It's now like, oh, this weekend, I have some downtime. I think I'm going to go out and DoorDash and see if I can make a little extra money on the side.
That's
which is
cool.
Another way to make money to go to Disney is like these Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and, Shipt and grocery delivery services. You only have to sign up for like an hour of your time and you make an extra 10, 20, $30 depending on how busy it is. So
how did you, which app is that? That's My Points?
Yeah, that's my points.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
And I did another thing. So how My Points works is that they'll offer you special deals during the day, like shop at this place and buy this or subscribe to this and you get this many points. It's like, and some of it is like, oh, no, thanks. But some of it, like DoorDash was on there, so 10,000 points to sign up to be a Dasher. You only have to do it one time and, you get this. And
right.
So that one didn't cost me anything, just an hour of my time. The other one that, so I don't know if you have this in Hawaii, you probably do. The Swans guy.
I don't have that. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. This is something I grew up with in the Midwest. Maybe it's when I was a child, the Swans man was like an ice cream man, but only for like meat and ice cream.
Okay.
So he'd deliver ice cream. He'd go around to your house and be like, oh, do you want any, it was like the original home delivery grocery service. So he'd had like frozen pizzas and chicken tenders and
this isn't a food truck, right? It's delivery service.
It's a delivery food truck that's a freezer, like one giant freezer. Like, oh, you need corn dogs, like a dozen corn dogs to put in your freezer to make later. Well, that for $10, here's a
right.
Yeah,
right.
So I found like for your first Swans home delivery, 50% off the order and like 4,000 points and free delivery. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll sign up for that. So I bought like $50 worth of food, which came to $25 because I had 50% off.
Those discounts,
and then, yeah, and then 4,000 points. And I was like, oh, and now I have some pretty decent food in my freezer right now. Like I bought some really nice pecan caramel rolls that you nuke in the microwave, and they're stellar.
Which app was that with again?
That was with My Points again.
Wow. I definitely have not been capitalizing on this My Points. I just go in there and look at their emails and scroll to the bottom and click on the get points, and you get like 5 points or 10 points or something. And so my point value is going up very, very slowly. Now,
well, and I forgot.
When I first did My Points, this was a long time ago when I first signed up, I did buy some things through My Points, which helped my point value go up, a bit. And I did get gift cards from them. Since then, I just click on the get points, and I don't think I've gotten a gift card since. You have definitely maximized out on this.
Right. Well, and here's the funny thing. So last night I was making my ribs, and I was cleaning up, and I was putting away. I made them in the slow cooker. And I was putting everything away, and I had made some gravy to go with my ribs with the leftover, drippings, I guess you could say. And I was like, oh, let me pour that into a jar. And then the jar broke. and I had gravy all over my kitchen counter and my floor, and I didn't have any paper towels whatsoever. So I had to use like Kleenexes and
gosh, toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, which kitchen towel can I ruin with this, mess that I have to clean up? And so last night I went on to Ibotta, and they have Boxed, which is so if you're not familiar, Boxed is like Sam's Club, but only they ship everything to you. So you buy everything in bulk and they ship it to you. So for my first order of Boxed, I got a $10 bonus. Plus, I'm like, I need towels. And so it's being shipped to me. And I got like, $15 bonus for that. And,
nice.
But I had to order a specific amount of stuff. But I had already been contemplating that for a while. But the gravy on the floor kind of pushed me over my limit.
The edge.
Yes.
And it's like,
yes,
this is the excuse I need to do it.
Right, because I need paper towels right now, but all right.
So
yeah, it would be cheaper
basically,
for me.
to sum it up, there are quite a few apps out there in which, if you read all the options you have out there, can actually be a pretty quick and easy way to save money up in the form of gift cards to help fund your Disney trip, because Disney will take any form of Disney money, whether it's the original Disney dollars or the Disney gift cards.
Right. And I think that's a good way to really save for a Disney trip. I mean, if you're planning, there's cheaper ways to go in Central Florida, and maybe someday we'll have an episode that's like, how can I really do really, really cheap in Central Florida and still go to Disney? Because I lived in Florida for so long that I can tell you really cheap places to stay that are maybe a little questionable, but somewhat safe. And ways to get through and navigate through Walt Disney World, spending the bare minimum, which is usually ticket prices. And getting you around at max capacity. And yeah. So that's a good way. We're talking about tips to pay for this $500 ticket. I'll be honest with you. In the month that I've been doing all of this stuff, I've saved $200. I've also probably spent, more than, and I bought more than I probably should. And a lot of these apps, you can, if you were like shop on Amazon or any of those other places, they give you credit for that. And so it adds up.
As long as you go through their app or their website.
Yeah. And so $200 in a month, that's not shabby.
That's really good. Especially if you are going to use the items that you bought.
Right. And on top of the other money that I was already setting aside, I'm like, this is close to $300 to $400 a month with my scheming, and I have food in my fridge because it's ribs and ribs,
so you can
and
feed
lots of ice cream.
You can feed yourself sustenance so that you can survive until you make it to Disney, where you will spend an egregious amount more money on food.
Right.
So on top of your $500 to get in the park, you spend another $500 on food.
Right. Well, and here's, Sherry and I have been talking about this because I'm a foodie. I mean, I'm really like looking. That is one of the big things I'm looking forward to is all the different kinds of snacks.
I'm not a foodie.
I know, and Sherry's not a foodie, which
At
is
all.
like, but I've been plotting and planning. So the ballpark figure, if you're going to only eat like counter service for one person with all three meals, like you're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks, it's about $50 a day. And that's just counter service. That's not sit down service. Sit down service per meal, any appetizer is going to be $30 a person plus tip and, taxes. And, are you going to just drink water? Well, no, you're going to have a $5 soda. So,
is that it? $5?
I
thought
think
it was like
$4.
$8.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Well, if you want a beer, it's like $12. So
right. And if you're doing character dining, we're talking $50, $60 per person. which
if
is
you're going to go.
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
that's crazy. No, I was going to say, if you want to do the Beast Castle, or you want to do Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella's Castle in the Magic Kingdom, and you want to do Cinderella's Royal Table, that's $55 per adult. And it's a pre-fit.
It's a set menu.
It's a set menu, set price, set menu. You pick an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. And, if you want an extra drink on top of that, they'll give you something, you'll pay extra for a frou-frou drink. But, and then, of course, tip and gratuity. So you're talking $70 before you even get out the door.
Right. And then you get that specialty mug so you can take it home. That's another $15.
Yeah.
So that means you should go into apps like MyPoints and click on the Get Points every single email. You should walk around the mall every single day with your Bluetooth on, going into every single store, collecting points so that you can convert them to gift cards, which will help you to be able to afford your Disney trip.
Oh, I found another app too. And this is just last one, I promise. But this one's very unique. This one is the Job Spotter from Indeed. And if you see a help wanted sign in any window, you snap a picture of the sign and you snap a picture of the store, and they give you points good for an Amazon gift card.
Are you for real?
I'm for real. I've snapped enough to get a $10 Amazon gift card in like 2 weeks.
That's fun. What is this called?
It's called the Job Snapper. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me.
Job Snapper. Okay, so while Deborah's looking this up, I just want to be clear. We do not work for any of these companies. We are not getting anything to promo these companies. These are actually things that Deborah has spent the time to research and find out so that she can save money to come on this trip that we're going on and be able to afford a decent, fun trip while we're there and not have to worry as much about how am I going to pay for these snacks that I want. And we can cover this in another podcast, but there are a lot. And then they have seasonal snacks. So you go online and you're watching videos and you're like, oh my God, that looks so good. And then you show up and you're like, where is it? Well, it's gone because they've replaced it with another wonderful looking snack. So
yes,
you just have to be ready. Yes.
The app is called Job Spotter.
Spotter. Okay.
And the more unique the store and the bigger the sign, the more points you get. But if you go to McDonald's, who's always hiring, you get less, like rock
2
bottom points. Yeah, exactly. And so that, I got enough to get $11. I'm that was easy.
Do they check or if you just go to the same McDonald's every other day and take a picture and send it in, you don't get the more points, right? It has to be different.
They reject
places. Yeah. Okay. Just clarifying.
They keep tabs on that.
For all the people who are going to go out there and try it.
Right. So here's Deborah doing all of these weird things to make money, including DoorDash and all that. But you know what? Hey, so I'm a Dave Ramsey. I don't know if Sherry's ever heard of Dave Ramsey, but I'm a big Dave Ramsey proponent. And Dave Ramsey always says, a paid vacation that you paid off and it's paid before you leave is going to be much more satisfying and much more fun than coming home to credit card bills.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. I agree.
Yeah.
Completely.
So I'm trying to get all of my tickets bought. My tickets are bought. I've already paid. I'm going to be paying off the last of my tickets next pay period. And now I'm going to be working on food. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm I'm ahead of schedule. Because I was a little worried about the ticket situation for me since I can't get into the parks for free potentially this time. I was like, another $500 expense.
So, and just so that people know, there are different options of getting slightly discounted tickets. So you can buy them straight from Disney. Usually that's, base rate. That's what they expect, what they want. Sometimes they have deals. If you go onto their discount page, you can get a package deal, which has slightly discounted tickets. Or you can go, there are actually websites that sell them for slightly cheaper. And one in particular is called undercovertourist.com. And sometimes they have, let's say you buy 4 days, you get the 5th day free.
Right.
So just be aware you do not have to buy your tickets from Disney for the rate that they are stating. You can get it from Sam's Club, which is what Deborah did, or you can go to different websites. Just be cautious when you go to the websites that you also research whether the website is a valid website, because there are a lot of fraudulent ones out there.
And do not buy. You can go in Kissimmee, Florida, or in Lake Buena Vista, or around Orlando, and people will be hawking tickets. Like, oh, I have tickets. They're like half price. They're probably illegal, and you might be scammed. Like, you might get to the parks, and your ticket won't work.
Yes, they've used it already. Or, you know, you might get the police right there with you saying, that was stolen. It got reported. So,
and guess what?
Just
Disney will be like, oh, that's too bad you got scammed. Come on in. No, they're going to tell you, sorry, go back to the place you bought it and try to get your money back, but we're not letting you in.
And then when you go back, the store will be closed because they were only there just to sell it to you.
Right. And in fact, okay, y'all know that I used to work for Disney Security. One of the biggest investigative units at Walt Disney World is ticket fraud. So we have like dedicated investigators who go out to these places that are reporting, you know, tickets for sale or whatever, just to see if they're on the up and up, and if they're, you know, and people will be arrested for it because it is fraud. And then the other thing too is cast members. There are cast members who will sell their tickets, their main gate pass that they get for free. They'll sell it to you, and that's also illegal. So those are things that, like, if you want to know, hey, it sounds like a good deal, then if
it's
be careful.
Such a good deal, it's probably not real. So just remember that.
The other one also, and this is true for every tourist location, Disney's no exception, they'll be like, oh, free or discounted tickets, and then you find out you have to go to a timeshare presentation that lasts 2 hours.
Which they say lasts 2 hours, but then really it ends up being like 5 hours. And on top of that, they take you on a bus, so you can't get back. So you're stuck. So be careful.
Yeah, I don't recommend.
And I say that from experience because that's what happened to me. Of course, this is a whole nother story, but in the end, I basically turned it on them. And the guy who was trying to sell me the timeshare got so mad at me. He like stormed off, and he basically was like, "Be gone, you!"
Oh, that's funny. So there you go. Don't say I didn't warn you. And that, you know, I don't recommend that at all. No matter how, like, oh, I can save myself $300. How much is your time worth to you?
Right.
Plus, then you're going to get a hard sell from the people who are desperately trying to get you to buy a timeshare. So it's, if you're into timeshares, hey, you know, I guess. But I warn against that kind of stuff.
It's better just to go to the ticket booth and buy your ticket.
Right.
That's really it.
And so that's some ideas too. I was going to say something else to the effect. We'll have to talk about food budgeting again, because you know, we'll talk about snack prices, and because ice cream cone is about $5 per ice cream cone, maybe $6 depending if it's a specialty one. Like a Dole Whip is $4.95 right now, which is, you know, if you're not interested, it's pineapple ice cream. It's like the best pineapple ice cream in the world.
And then you could get it with pineapple juice around it. It's so good. Pineapple donut. Yum.
You can get a Hey Hey cone. Now, Hey Hey is the rooster from Moana. And so it's like a blue sugar cone with raspberry and on top and Dole Whip on the bottom. And it's a swirl. And then they have little candy licorice rooster's comb and eyes, like candy eyes. And so that's like $6 for, you know, the special Hey Hey cone. And that might disappear by the time we get there, which I'm kind of like, oh, please, I want to try the Hey Hey cone.
I don't think it'll go away.
Some of them, like right now, like, okay, so for Halloween, for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, they roll out like 10 exclusive desserts just for that night. And you can only buy them if you go to the to the party. So one of them was the Maleficent cone last year, and it was like lime ice cream with chocolate horns that were Maleficent, and
That sounds really
it was really
good.
cool. But you could only buy it at the event. You couldn't buy it on any other given day. So
That
there you
sounds
go.
really good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I'm like, wow, that was
But
really
we will
awesome.
talk about desserts more and budgeting for desserts, possibly in
Right.
our next episode. And
should.
I do have to go, so I am going to say goodbye and ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.